Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Friday morning edition of the Daily Market Commentary. I am your host, Chuck Fulkerson, joined by my illustrious co-host, the great Charlie. Say good morning, everybody.
Hi.
So what we're going to do is what we do each and every day. We're going to take a look at the markets from an educational perspective, identifying potential breakout trades and turning points. For those of you new to the channel, do me a favor, click that subscribe button down below so you get the updates as they become available, or go to tradersarmy.com and be a subscriber so that you can get a little bit more educational content as it becomes available. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So taking a look at the S&P. Yesterday I had a position here on the S&P, and like I said, we always look at what does the trade look like coming into the position. And coming into the position, we had up here the origin of a very strong move down, where I thought, we'd initiated a downward trend, and so when price comes back up to here, this is where I would look to be a seller, and price came up, and then it immediately...
Seller is the bear, and
right.
the slide.
Right. However, that slide, we went right through the top of the slide. You see that, Charlie, how price hit here and it kept going up? So that means that we are wrong. And it's okay to be wrong, because when we're wrong, we just take small losses. That's really the idea. So this one blew right through the area. No real big deal on that one. However, what it does is it sets us up for a potential breakout today. I am going to leave, though I normally don't leave areas on the charts, I'm going to leave this area on the chart to see if it acts as a support area in the future, because there's a chance that this will act as a support area in the future. Doesn't mean I'm necessarily going to take a trade on it going forward, but there's a chance it'll act as a support area. In looking yesterday at this area back here, I just didn't feel like we would get a humongous bounce off of this range, but we did. So now, if we do get a pullback into here, this could act as a support area. Coming into a Friday, I'm always a bit more cautious over what can happen on a Friday. Next, Nasdaq. So the Nasdaq also blew way through that area of supply. Now, the good news is that we had already had a nice little move away from there, so hopefully that turned into a bit of a profitable trade for you before reversing and coming back up. So now where it stands, there is still this area here where we may get a bit of a reversal if price comes back up to this region. So keep this area in mind. I'm going to change this to a dashed line. And on a dashed line, we wait for price to come in, and then we sell as price comes back out. Because since this is going down, this right here would be the top of a what?
Slide.
Right, and since it's the top of a slide, who is going to take over?
Bears.
The bears, right. So the bears would take over when price comes back up into here, and this is where we would look for some sort of a reversal. We start the young with simple lessons. Crude oil. So crude oil, we rallied back up into the region yesterday, and now we're just not getting a whole lot out of crude. I had originally talked about, hey, we got a potential breakout. Well, that breakout just did not come to any fruition. We broke down below, got a little bit of a move into this region here, and that didn't come to any fruition. And then we've come back all the way up to where we could have a reversal, and that's just chopping around. So both of them are, it's one of those weeks where you get a lot of when the market, has had, basically we started the week here and now we're right here. So that makes it a little bit more difficult, a little bit more tough sledding in this market environment, and that's okay. I'll take spells like this when it sets me up for the long game. Looking at gold, we see that gold has really taken a tumble. I'm going to go to the bigger picture chart here of gold, and I will tell you, now that we broke below some of these areas here on gold, I actually have seen that, I feel like there's definitely a better opportunity for shorts in gold, even in the long term. I think there's a good chance, looking at the price of gold, that this thing could continue to fall, which would go hand in hand with more strength in the overall market. So we'll see if this thing continues its further decline. But on a trader's perspective, on a trader's basis, is there going to be an opportunity to get short on a rally back up into here? Well, we'd had this this area right here where we came smoking down from off that 15-minute level. So that 15-minute level up here where we rallied back up and really just came smoking down. That was an exceptionally good trade. So those of you that were able to take advantage of that move, hip, hip, hooray. If you missed that one, you might get another opportunity right in here. And I'm going to see if right today we get this hit again. So let me know in the comment section down below if you're able to catch that gold trade. See, I'll take that little crude oil in exchange for catching this in gold. And that's exactly what we look for. Looking at bonds and currency markets, not a whole lot to add in our bond market. We're just kind of sitting around. I actually had a pretty empty slate of trades set up in the bonds and currency markets. The Aussie, we have fallen off of our reversal point very strong from up here. This was one that met entry last week. I thought we may get a chance to come back into it, did not. And so now we have really just shown a lot of weakness. If I move to the 4-hour time period here, we'll see that I'm still just kind of in this basing range. And so, there's going to be an opportunity to add to a potential short a bit higher. Right now I'm going to look at this area way up here as the best opportunity to add to the short because this is where prices started going which way, Charlie?
Down.
Down.
Which that is the slides.
Yeah.
It takes over the barrels. And which button do you press? Sell.
That's right. So
I have the paper.
So when price comes back up here, that's where we sell, right? You keep your cheat sheet in front of you so remember the rules. Now, Charlie, we sell when it goes up here, but if it keeps going up, do we stay in or do we get out?
Get out.
That's right. Get out.
Who takes over? The bulls. Buy.
That's right. So at the bottom of the mountain is when the bulls come in. But if we break through here, we'll have a stop loss in place so that we have small losses. All right. On the euro. So in the euro, again, we are getting a bit of a rally this morning in all of our currencies. I like this area right here. And I like this area because this little bit of sideways price action tells me that buyers and sellers were a state of equilibrium, strong move away. But it was an old area of support in the past that could act as a potential resistance point going forward. In the Canadian, here's one that I set up yesterday. If you were oh so brave as to give this one a try. And it came back up in, and then it did nothing. And it was just, and didn't do a whole heck of a lot. Right. Charlie knows my sound effects. So it didn't really do a whole heck of a lot. So this one, a small loss on that position shouldn't affect you too bad. Although you may have moved your stop even as it came into the region. Last, but certainly not least,
it's the Canadian dollar and the Great British Pound.
Close. It's the Japanese yen and the Great British Pound. So in the Great British Pound, it's not just the British Pound; it's the Great British Pound because it's Great Britain. And so we had a strong. This long wick up here really messes up any of these levels over to the left, and so with that long wick up here. It really wipes out all those levels there to the left. And so now what I'm looking at is possibly a reversal point up in here, but I don't love that I've got a fair amount of equilibrium right next to it. So I'm going to leave that one be for now. I don't want to add anything to that one. I'm not quite comfortable with it. In the Japanese yen, this is the very, very bottom of a what, Charlie?
Mountain.
Right, and since that's the bottom of a mountain, what do we do when we come back to the bottom of a mountain? Who's going to take over?
The bulls.
The bulls. And if the bulls take over, what's the action that we would look to take? We would...
Wait, what do you mean?
When the bulls... The button we push.
Oh, buy.
Right. When we push a button, we're taking an action. That's what we do. So I think this could... So with that being said, everybody, we're going to turn this thing over, and we will see you on the weekend edition of the Daily Market Commentary. For those of you that haven't had a chance, go to our newest site, tradersarmy.com, where we're going to talk about doing live trading rooms. I know a lot of you have asked me about live trading rooms, and our first inaugural live trading room is going to be next Sunday, August the 12th. So if you get a chance, we'd love to have you join us in the live trading room where we are going to have a little bit more interaction. And I like to do it on Sunday evenings because Sunday evenings is really my time to set up options trades for the coming week, and we'll be looking at individual options trades as well as the futures markets and the Forex market. So thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you soon. Say bye, Charlie.